Alright, what's up guys? So today I want to talk about Overwatch 2 and if it's really worth getting into, and just my thoughts on the game right now as of season 3. I think I did one of these back in season 1. But just want to talk about the game that I play a lot, and sometimes I take a break from because it can be stale, and I'll explain it all.
Y'all had it coming.
So I just want to talk about first if the game is worth getting into, and I think Overwatch is definitely, if you've never played Overwatch, it is definitely a game worth at least investing a little bit of time into, because it can be a lot of fun and it can be very addicting at times. So I definitely think that you should give it a try if you haven't. It's just one of those games, just like, you know, if you try it and you like it, it's one of those games that you could play for hundreds of hours non-stop and just have a blast. I can say with confidence that it will be fun. There's times in this game where you know, like every shooter game, where it can be rather boring, but this one I can tell you for a fact, at least will be an enjoyable experience. And there's so many play styles in the game that I guarantee you at least one of the ways you want to play will be covered, whether that just be, you know, simple FPS shooter guy like Soldier or Cass, or like advanced movement like Genji and Doomfist, or like, you know, more traditional like MMO kind of crazy styles where you get up and you melee and you shield and stuff like traditional tanks, etc., etc. There's a play style for every type of player in Overwatch, and I think that's one of the main things that makes it extremely accessible, is that there are so many characters that almost anything that you want to do, you can do, which is really nice. And the game's only going to get bigger with the hero roster, which I think is, like I said, I think is just a net positive. But there is one downside to the hero roster thing that I do want to talk about real quick. As the hero roster gets bigger, we are going to see, at least in my opinion, more inflated kits that incorporate more things from others, or do things, interact more with others, which I think is good and bad. Because I feel like sometimes you can get things like Soldierin, who is a lot like Soldier, but Soldierin is just like not even like technically, I would just argue, better than Soldier. I mean, she's basically got 3 abilities, besides, and if you're not including the all, of course, but if she's basically got 3 abilities, and one of them is quite literally just a helix rocket but on hit scan and can headshot. So I don't know, but that's just an example. But I will say one of the big things that this game has going for it is its consistency. Now I know it's gonna sound a little weird, but I'll explain it. This game has a pretty consistent player base. Now it will fluctuate near the end, but that's like every game. But this game really pops off, I guess, when there's a hero. But most of the time, it's pretty stable. It's, you know, it's pretty normal amount of players, and it fluctuates between a slightly lower number and a slightly higher number. But it generally stays within those boundaries. And the only exceptions for that are like when the season is nearing its end, and when the new season has begun. Especially if there's a new hero, there will be new participants coming in to try out the game. However, that's all. That seems great and dandy if you haven't played Overwatch. But if you've played Overwatch, I feel like we're all kind of in the same boat, where the game can feel a little dry, and I wouldn't like to say bland, but like technically bland. The game is very much somewhat similar to Overwatch 1. There are differences, such as the one. What the fuck did happen to me with my aim there? There are some differences, such as, like, you know, the difference of a player, the maps, like 2CP now being in,
It's a bone orchard out here.
stuff like that.
You needed killing.
But you know, a lot of it does still play the same. A lot of things have changed, but it's not like crazy different. At least in my opinion. But a lot of people will tell you that it's pretty different because of the player down, but that just depends on your perspective, I guess. I don't think it's that much different. But I definitely think it's interesting.
Plenty more where that came.
And I would argue even more fun than Overwatch 1. But
Trigger fingers.
those are just minor things. But I will say, if you're a new player coming in, like I said, this game is most definitely like an enjoyable experience.
Clean, sweet.
And it's definitely worth investing your time into. At least to give it a try. Now, if you're new, you'll probably at some point end up playing comp, most likely. Some people won't, but you know, you probably will. I gotta be honest, I think the comp side of this game is slowly dying and slowly also becoming less and less relevant as it is. Besides like OW League, like that shit is legitimately like disappearing and like slowly becoming irrelevant. Comp is also like doesn't seem to be the main priority. Now, I'm not even in the top ranks of the game, and I think that this game should be balanced from top down. And watching as like it seems like, I don't know, it just kind of feels like the game is more centered around quick play and arcade and what's going on in those modes and stuff. Really just like draws back from like what the game could be. Even though I basically only play quick play, I still think that this game is more important and ranked and such. Obviously we've got the PvE coming out, which is going to be a big deal, but you know, like, I don't know when that's happening, but the sounds of it is going to be a ginormous deal when it comes out by the developers. So, you know, I'm interested to see what it'll be like. But it definitely, it's definitely an interesting time to be playing the game if you've played a lot of it. I mean, like, I could go into details about things like the battle pass, but I don't really see the battle pass as being that bad. I mean, to me, at this point, I'm just like, it's a battle pass, and I don't really care anymore. So, you know, I think the battle passes are at least pretty fair. I don't buy them unless I hit max level first, because most of the time I don't even play some of the characters in them. So, but yeah, I just feel like there's some parts of this game that are gonna slowly fade out, and at least for experienced players, because it's gonna get to the point where it's like, you know, you can only queue into a comp game on Rialto 30 like a couple of like so many times, you know, until it becomes just another comp game on Rialto. And like, you can only get so many golden weapons before like you don't care about getting any more, or they start to lose meaning. So I don't know. It's just I just want to point out that comp thing. One of the biggest complaints that I had with the game previously has already been addressed and is getting taken out. And that's map pools. I think the map pools are boring. And they already addressed that map pools will be going away. So that's at least pretty nice. But one of my biggest things, like I said, I just want to address was like, is the game even like worth getting, like, how is Overwatch, and is it even worth getting into at this point, or is it like a dying game? And I'll be honest with you, if you've not played Overwatch, it is at least worth giving a try. Like, you can spend a lot of your time having a great time playing this, and who knows, you could end up spending more time than any shooter you spend in it, because it's a hero shooter and it's unique, and you know, like, the characters in it are at least, you know, pretty interesting. So I definitely think that is a bonus of the game. But how is Overwatch itself? I would say, at least in my opinion, pretty stale right now. I mostly hop on and just play like Doomfist and just fuck around. It's not even like that crazy or interesting anymore because the game itself has kind of just not much going on right now. No, I'm not saying like the battle pass or anything. Like, I understand there was no hero this season, so the balancing patches are hopefully going to be more plentiful. But with their track record, I don't really know that's going to be the case. Because normally, you know, the hero would spice things up, but the balance patches are going to have to be what does it now. And to be honest with you, their balance patches, at least in my opinion, have been really mid and really late. So, at least in my opinion. So, but I definitely, like I said, if you're new, invest your time and try it out at least because it's free. Invest your time in it. Give it a fair chance. And if you're experienced, I feel like either if you played Overwatch 1 and you haven't played Overwatch 2, still worth giving another try again. But if you've played a lot of Overwatch 2, I think we can all agree that, at least in my opinion, I feel like a lot of people are kind of in the same boat. It's a little stale. There's not a whole lot going on. There's something to look forward to on March 7th, which is kind of cool. That One Punch Man skin for Doomfist. But after that, I don't really care about a whole lot that's coming out for Overwatch, like the Pokemari event and stuff. So I don't know, but yeah, guys, that is mostly it. That's all I really wanted to talk about was you know, Overwatch and stuff. So yeah, guys, I guess, you know, we'll have to see about the bounce patches, and hopefully that'll spice the game up enough. But for now, guys, that's gonna be it. Hope you guys have a nice day, and see you guys later. Bye, everyone.